Hold that close, Julie.
Hello and welcome to Tennessee Valley this morning on WTMB. Kim is never ready.
I'm never ready.
Never
I'm
ready.
always ready. I'm just never prepared. Well, no, I'm always prepared. I'm just never ready when the camera comes on.
Thank you for joining us on this middle of the week Wednesday. Joe and Kim Palo with you this morning. We want to just real quick recap. Of course, Monday we did a live, did the morning show live. Kim and I did along with Alan Mincy. As we recapped what happened, the storms that had hit us last Friday. We're still recovering, obviously, and will be for a while. So we'll continue to update you guys as far as the phone numbers where you can donate your time, your money, your anything you'd like to donate. The Bradley Baptist
But we're in very
Association.
good shape. We're in very good shape.
Oh, we're in excellent shape. We're excellent shape.
Yes, excellent. And
Had a
we've
lot
got
of
Reba
experience
Terry
to draw
today.
from. Yeah, we got Reba Terry with us today.
From the Caring Place.
From the Caring Place. Will talk to us about what they're doing. And again, our thoughts and prayers go out to the families that were affected. We were talking Monday about how it wasn't as bad as it was a year ago, but you just asked the folks that lost their home Friday night tell them it's not as bad as it was a year ago. See what they have to tell you about that. But yeah, it's a sad situation, and hopefully maybe down the road we'll get a meteorologist on, a real one, not like myself, one that plays one on TV, a real one to explain to us what in the heck is going on with the weather.
I'm telling you.
Tornadoes and storms, oh my. It seems like daily, but in any case, again, our thoughts and prayers go out to the families. Now, we've got a great show for you today. We've got Ron Moore with us, our Bradley County historian. Will talk to us about some Bradley County history.
Yes.
We've got Julie Thornton in the house with a little pet that you're going to want to see and maybe adopt for your very own. And of course, as we mentioned, Reba Terry from the Caring Place. We'll talk to Reba as well. So we've got a great show for you today, this morning. We again appreciate you joining us on this middle of the week Wednesday. We're going to be back with more of the morning show after this commercial, so please stay tuned.
I'm Wes Robbins with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. When it comes to employee benefits, we've got you covered. Call me today for the best service and best solutions to your group health and employee benefits needs. At Landmark Insurance Brokerage, we've got you covered.
Hi, I'm Brittany Jackson. Join me every Wednesday night at 6:30 and midnight where we will highlight local sports, chat with coaches, and discover new tips every week. Only on In the Spotlight with Brittany Jackson.
Hyperbaric Services of East Tennessee is now open in Cleveland. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy is an incredible treatment, clinically tested for a variety of physical and neurologic conditions, including autism, migraine headaches, even sprains and injuries. It is a simple, safe, and painless process that raises a patient's oxygen level, providing an array of health benefits. So whether you're dealing with a weekend sports injury, chronic condition, or looking for anti-aging, you owe it to yourself to explore what Hyperbaric Services can do for you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dennis Ford, board certified in anti-aging medicine and pain management. Have you had recent decrease in energy, lack of sex drive, feel moody, grumpy, or sad? If so, you may have low testosterone and be a candidate for bioidentical hormone replacement. Listen to what two of my patients have to say.
Before I came to the Ford Clinic, I had to have a nap every day.
When I got off work, I'd lay around, really didn't want to do much and felt real lazy.
I've noticed since I had the testosterone implant that I can go a good 8 hours doing the things I enjoy doing.
I had it done, it took about 25-30 minutes, 5 months, and I'm doing good. My stomach, my muscles, they've completely changed. My fat level has dropped. Get to go out and run, exercise with my son. My muscles are just getting stronger.
If you'd like to change your life, please call me at Ford Center for Pain Management and Anti-Aging Medicine at 423-400-9115.
It's a very simple process, and it's well worth it.
Welcome back to Tennessee Valley this morning. Joe and Kim Palo with you. It is Wednesday. We went into the break so quickly because we had a big show.
I guess. I mean, you just got all.
Hey, I mean, I'm trying to be business now. This is show business, baby.
No business, okay.
We are joined by Julie Thornton of Petco and Pals and a little pal.
Yep, Mama.
Mama, is that what she's
Mama.
saying?
That's what we're calling her.
And Julie brought this forever friend, as she likes to call it here, on the show. So this way you folks can get a good look at her and maybe take her home for your very own. because her name is Mama.
Mama, because she
Just had babies.
she didn't just have babies, but we just adopted out her last pup.
Okay. And she is a,
We think.
okay. we're assuming.
We're not making fun.
An
Chihuahua,
English-
something mixed.
No. Weenie dog, no. English Terrier mix of some sort. Yeah, she's an English Terrier of some mix of some kind.
I mean, a sweet dog. A sweet
Yeah,
dog.
super nice.
She seems to be very
She was turned in by a couple that's new to town, didn't know where they found her.
Okay.
And she had babies. She's got my thing there. And we're trying to find her home. She's super friendly. I've only spent a few minutes with her. I picked her up from Pal's today. She was really emaciated when they first got her. And now she's eating and loving and just wants to be loved on.
Happy.
Yeah, she's a
just
really happy
for
dog.
somebody to take care of her and to play with her and give her
Yeah,
attention.
and she, now that her pups are gone, she is going through a little bit, I think, of maybe like a separation
Yeah,
type thing.
sure.
But she's house trained. Oh, Mama.
That's okay.
It's okay. Well, we've lost her.
Good girl.
Good girl.
Thumbs, too.
Good girl. But she's ready for adoption. She's obviously not spayed yet because it's been pretty traumatic on her so far. She needs a
Sure.
little bit of time to recover there. But she's up for adoption. That would be unspayed. It's $45, and then we have a program where you can get her spayed for another $60 at a
Okay,
vet.
that's right, okay.
Or if you wait and get her after she's been spayed,
Very
the cost of
smart
her goes
little
up a
dog.
little bit. Yeah, she's super nice.
She is, and she seems to be very alert. She's just watched Jennifer and every
Yeah.
move that she made when
Uh-huh.
she came in
Yeah.
here.
Now,
And
now
so-
let me ask you, what are there any special needs for these type of dogs, or what's
Looks like she needs a little bit of exercise.
Yeah, yeah.
She's going to need some playtime.
She's going to need some playtime, absolutely. And I want to make sure that she's going to need a good quality diet with her being just coming off nursing.
Yeah.
And she was really underfed anyway when Pals
Right.
took over her care. So she's going to need, a lot of exercise. She's going to need a good food. And I think she would be great for a family. I think
Oh,
this would be
yeah.
a good family dog,
Yeah, she
with
seems
kids
like
that
she would
are
be
out in the
great with
yard
kids.
playing,
and she seems to like everybody.
Yeah, I haven't.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's small enough to where
And
she
she's
can
been
be in the
around
house.
other pets. She has been integrated at one of the Pals' houses with other dogs, both pups, older dogs, big dogs, small dogs,
Right.
and there hasn't been a problem yet.
Right.
So I think she would be a good, addition onto maybe a family that already has pets, or, that's looking for an older dog. She's past that puppy stage.
Yeah.
Right.
She's crate trained.
Right.
She's been in a crate most of the day. There was no potty in it when I got her out of it. As soon as I got her out of the crate, we walked 20 foot, she peed, we walked another 20 foot, she did the doo-doo, and then she peed again. I mean, she's house trained, and that's a
Right.
big thing too with bringing in adult dogs. If they're not house
Trained, you're got
you really
a whole
have
big
issues.
job,
Yeah.
right?
Well, and I think with-
she is a great size because she can play with smaller kids
Yeah,
and
she's
not
grown.
be fragile.
She's grown. Yeah, she's a
she's not
grown
will be
dog.
fragile like a little lap
Oh,
dog,
good
but
girl.
she's not too big to where you don't want her flopping all over.
I think that
everything
she
you
needs to
have.
go to a carpet at home with the way she's
Yeah,
Come on, girl.
Well, I think Miss Kathy said that she has adopted every other animal at the house, so
Yep,
she's
yep,
got
yep.
that motherly instinct,
Yep.
and she's very friendly with the
She
dogs.
has. She has. She's a cute little pup
Yeah,
too.
she is.
She is. She's very soft. She's got the short hair, so you're not going to have a lot of grooming duties.
Not going to
that
have a lot
you're
of
gonna
grooming
have to
duties.
do.
Toenails, teeth. Look at there. Look at your mama.
Look
She's
who's
like,
on
I'm not
TV.
looking at the
Right, I
TV.
know.
Looking at your hand.
Yeah, look at my hand. What are you doing? She's not a storm dog by any means, and that's something else I wanted to talk to you
Yes,
guys about.
yes, please
Okay.
do.
So I just learned this today. If you ever lose or find an animal, you can call the Daily Banner, and they will put it for free in there.
Oh, wow.
For 2 weeks, I think, or a
Terrific.
couple different editions there of what pets are lost and found. That's a big thing to do. Call the shelter, call the vet. If you find an animal, you can take it to just about any vet in town or the animal shelter, and they will scan it for free to see if it has a microchip. And that's a huge hip thing to do now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Getting
it
your
is.
dog microchipped. That's the in thing right now. For a long time, people would tattoo or just use a little collar with a tag, but especially in catastrophe, those things can get gone.
Yeah.
So, you can have them checked for microchips. You can call the shelter, you can call your vets, you can call Petco and get numbers to all kind of shelters, that are willing to help you at this time. So, people are making efforts to get animals back to where they belong. So,
Well, and I think, didn't Miss Kathy tell us that she does have a storm animal?
Yep, that's what I was going to talk about next. We,
Okay.
as the Pals that I know of, there's only been a couple animals turned in that have been lost. And one of them that we have in our possession now is a purebred dog. That's definitely someone's animal.
Okay.
And that's pretty much all I want to give out over
Right.
the TV about it.
Right, they don't want to say a whole
Nope.
lot.
And
so
all you
to
got to
where
do
you
is
know the
call
true owner.
Petco and get Deanna's phone number.
Deanna. Is that
Deanna.
one?
Yep, Deanna's who's got it.
Okay.
But it's somebody's baby dog.
Yeah.
Somebody's
baby-
dog, and
yep.
if you're missing your purebred,
Yeah.
then you need to call Petco
Yeah.
and ask for Deanna, because they can definitely put you in the right direction of reclaiming,
Yep.
or hopefully maybe that you can reclaim your pet.
Right, right.
Mama, you're being so good.
Well, I'm
is
telling
so
you, what
good.
a
I'm not even
sweetheart.
really holding her. I mean, I know I look like I'm holding her, but I mean, she's just.
She really is, and to
She's
not have been
making
any more
her-
familiar with you than
Yeah.
what she is.
I mean,
She's
I just met
really-
this dog, y'all. Usually I try to meet my animals a little bit, more in advance, but this one was coming from out of the farm where we're having her being housed at, and I just could get her now, and I've literally spent maybe 5 minutes with her
Right.
before, and I mean, she acts like she knows me.
She
so.
just seems like she's just so happy to be with people that care, and that
Yeah.
she understands that she knows
Yeah,
that she's
they do.
safe and that she's taken care of, and she's not hungry, and she's
You're not hungry no more.
Well, you're saying she's about a year and a half old.
Maybe
and
so, yep.
Full grown. So this is it. She's not going to get any bigger than this, folks. So if you take this little dog home, this is what you're going to have. That's it right there.
She's had enough.
And very, very friendly. Very friendly.
Come on, Mama.
Very friendly.
And just because I call a dog a name
Yeah,
on the
see?
show,
doesn't mean
you have to keep the name, Mama,
Right,
or
right,
the name.
right.
Well, I said one day his name was Orphan or something, or Foster. He's a foster
Foster
dog.
dog,
Yeah. So, and I hear you guys' dog is doing great.
Yes.
They
yes.
fostered a dog
Yeah,
and
we
ended up
fostered
with a
dog that
pet.
ended up with one of our sons, and that dog is about this big.
Yay!
It's only like
And that's a
And he's a
perfect.
perfect fit.
And that's a perfect example of the name thing, because
Yeah.
you found it at the Bradley Square Mall in front of Penny,
Yep.
and it was called Penny,
Yep.
and he has named it Magawi or
something.
Magami or something
Yeah.
like that. So, but it comes to it. So.
Penny's easier to say on
Yes,
TV.
it was
I'm
for
not
me
gonna
too.
lie.
It was for me too. It still is.
Blockhead.
I call it blockhead because it's just got a.
because she's got a square.
It's just got a,
got a
but-
blockhead.
but
She's got a blockhead.
sweetest dog, sweetest dog. In fact, she looks exactly like that one right
Except
there.
a lot
Thank you
bigger.
guys for having me.
Well,
Oh,
thank you.
yeah,
for being
thank
back
you.
with
I
us.
hadn't been here a whole lot.
I know.
It's busy time.
She's
You know
busy, and she can't, and it's hard. So we were, instead of weekly, we're going to have her back the
Yeah.
first Wednesday of
Every month. I'll be here, fair
And
and
so
square.
she will have a special forever friend for somebody out
here,
there.
Mama.
And she's
One more time.
And this one right here again,
This
Julie.
is
If
Mama.
somebody wants her,
Mama needs a home. Mama needs a home where she can.
That's right, where she can
Play,
play with
golly.
you. And
She needs a
is.
place
She's
to
very
play.
hard. You're
Yeah.
not good if you've got small
Mama.
kids, 5 and 6 years old. She can take their abuse.
Oh, thank you, Mama.
She can take.
and what's the
it
phone number
anyhow.
again, Julie?
You can actually call up at Petco and get Deanna's phone number, or you can be at adoption this Saturday.
She'll
we'll
be there?
there.
Saturday?
Yep,
Okay.
we'll be there.
Okay.
Yep.
Good
You can
deal.
even call Miss Kathy. I've given out her number a bunch, 4769395. Yep.
All right, and pick up Mama and
Pick
take
up
her home.
Mama.
Take her home.
Take Mama home.
Take
'cause
Mama home.
Because if
needs
Mama
a new
ain't
pair of
happy,
shoes.
nobody's
Mama
happy.
needs a new pair of
Right,
shoes.
there you go.
Perfect. Perfect. Absolutely. I'll
right,
see you
Julie.
guys in a couple weeks.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Julie.
so much.
All right, folks, we're going to be back with Reba Terry from The Caring Place after this commercial break. Please stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Brittany Jackson. Join me every Wednesday night at 6:30 and midnight, where we will highlight local sports, chat with coaches, and discover new tips every week. Only on In the Spotlight with Brittany Jackson.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dennis Ford, board certified in anti-aging medicine and pain management. Have you had recent decrease in energy, lack of sex drive, feel moody, grumpy, or sad? If so, you may have low testosterone and be a candidate for bioidentical hormone replacement. Listen to what two of my patients have to say.
Before I came to the Ford Clinic, I had to have a nap every day.
When I got off work, I'd lay around, really didn't want to do much, and felt real lazy.
I've noticed since I had the testosterone implant that I can go a good 8 hours doing the things I enjoy doing.
I had it done, took about 25, 30 minutes, 5 months, and I'm doing good. My stomach, my muscles, they've completely changed. My fat level has dropped. Get to go out and run, exercise with my son. My muscles are just getting stronger.
If you'd like to change your life, please call me at Ford Center for Pain Management and Anti-Aging Medicine at 423-400-9115.
It's a very simple process, and it's well worth it.
Hello, I'm Dr. Gupta, and I'd like to introduce you to a valuable new healthcare solution here in Cleveland. Hyperbaric Services of East Tennessee is now open and accepting patients. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy is an incredible treatment clinically tested for a variety of physical and neurologic conditions, including autism, multiple sclerosis, fibromyalgia, migraine headaches, chronic fatigue syndrome, and even sports injuries and sprains. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy is a simple, safe, and painless process that raises a patient's oxygen level in the body. This increased oxygen level in our tissues and organs boosts the body's natural healing abilities and allows our bodies to function at a higher level. We will be happy to work in cooperation with your regular physician. However, referral is not required for this treatment. So whether you're dealing with a weekend injury, a chronic medical condition, or looking for anti-aging solutions, you owe it to yourself to explore what hyperbaric oxygen treatment can do for you or your loved ones. I invite you to contact us today for some more information.
I'm Wes Robbins with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. When it comes to employee benefits, we've got you covered. Call me today for the best service and best solutions to your group health and employee benefits needs. At Landmark Insurance Brokerage, we've got you covered.
Welcome back to Tennessee Valley this morning on WTMB. Joe and Kim Palo again with you, middle of the week Wednesday. We are now joined by Reba Terry of The Caring Place, and Reba's been with us many times before. We thank you for being back with us.
My pleasure.
Reba, first of all, I know we've got a couple of fundraisers that The Caring Place is getting ready for. So if you will, let's talk about those quickly.
First of all, West Side Ruatan Club is hosting an all-you-can-eat breakfast on this Saturday, March the 10th, from 8 to 10. It's going to be like biscuits and gravy and sausage or bacon and a beverage for $5. So all you can eat, that they're kind of opening themselves up, aren't they?
Yeah, no kidding.
But so regardless of age, $5 a person. It's going to be held at Mount Olive Church of God's Compassion Corner.
Okay.
They're at Harrison Pike and White Oak Road.
Right.
Okay. So all donation or all of those funds will benefit the Caring Place.
Terrific.
So we're really excited about that. So you should just pay at the door. I have some tickets, but you can pay at the door.
Now, what are the hours? I see from
8 to 10.
8 until 10 a.m. and you can have some sausage, gravy, and biscuits. Mercy me.
And we're talking about homemade stuff here
That's
now.
right.
Ooh.
This is Pam Matthews. It's cook.
okay.
Yeah, she has Pam's Florist, I think, in
Yes,
Dustin
that's right
Catering.
down the street.
Okay. So she's going to be the primary.
Oh, terrific.
Mercy.
Terrific.
Well, you want to make sure that you get out there now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the last time you were here. We were talking about the lunches that you
The sack
were
packs.
going to the
Yep.
elementary schools for those
Yes.
kids to take home on the weekend so they
Right.
wouldn't be hungry. Let's go over a little bit of overview. We kind of know because we've been doing a lot, especially in the past year with you. But what are the services of the Caring Place? What's the criteria that people need to meet, and exactly who do you serve?
All right. We service folks from Bradley County. We ask that they provide proof of income, proof of address, Social Security cards, and a picture ID, those four things. And we provide food and clothing. We have a social worker on staff. We also provide diapers to moms whose account is approved. And we're just got some other things coming around the corner, but I can't tell you about that yet.
Okay,
It's
okay.
a secret. You
Okay.
can't tell
So we're just really excited about the doors that God is opening for us and the ways that we're able to serve.
And I know we've had you folks, or not we've, like we've put it together, but we've been at the Main Street luncheons
Right.
where you all have spoke before
Right.
and talked about some of the stories of the folks that have come in, which really will tear at your heartstrings. Some of the people that come in there that need the help, but almost feel too embarrassed to ask for it, and you guys do a wonderful job in keeping them, letting them, what do I want to say?
regain their dignity.
Yes,
I mean,
yes,
maintain
very
it.
good, very good. Yeah, let's talk a
try
little
to.
bit about that, because there are a lot of people out there that have needs and need help,
Right.
but are just afraid to ask for it.
Right, right. It matters not your background, whether you've ever worked, whether you worked every day of your life, but you find yourself in this place and all of a sudden you need some assistance in providing for your family. And we want to make that really, as per clients, one-on-one. We don't ask personal questions in front of everybody else. We have an interpreter if that's needed for folks who don't speak English. We have we will assist you as far as helping you to find clothes that you need if you need that type of help. We just want to make it easy and user-friendly. It's not easy. It's never easy to ask for help, but we don't want anybody to be embarrassed because it could be me next week. We never know.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
We talk about that, all the time, and especially the downturn that the economy has taken. People that would have never thought that.
Sure.
But even at that, there are just circumstances that people are born into, and that never you just seem to can't rise
That's
about
right.
that. And
That's right.
and this is a non-judgmental environment
We
that,
do the
of the
best we
caring
can.
place. That you are the caring place, and not someone that stands in judgment. And that's really a great ministry that you guys do.
And another point to the ministry, it's a ministry, and it's geared to any denomination. It's
That's
not.
right.
It's non-denominational, so
Right.
it doesn't mean. It means if you're any denomination or no denomination,
Right.
you are there to help the folks.
That's right.
But it's a ministry to you folks.
That's right, it is. And we don't make people listen to the plan of salvation before we feed them.
Right.
But we have, Christian music playing in the lobby and Christian literature out. And we try to treat people like we think Christ would treat them. And so hopefully they feel that love from us. And
Yeah.
of course it's not us, it's Christ, but
Right,
just in
sure.
demonstrating the way that we care for people. So
Yeah.
Good
what we
job.
do.
Now let me ask you this too, Reba. About how many clients do you all service right now?
All right. We're down a little bit in February, which we're glad. We
Right,
have,
Yeah, of
absolutely
course.
good.
But from July through January, we served over 1,500 families a month.
Wow. A
A
month.
month.
Wow.
It was 1,388 last month, so just down somewhat, but it's
There
a
is
huge
that need.
need.
Incredible.
There
There
really
is.
Now you said something about another fundraiser.
We do. Our second one is our annual fundraising banquet. It's going to be at the Museum Center this year. Cafe Roma is catering. Dr. Don Bartlett from Ohio is our speaker. The title of the theme of the banquet is Caring Begins with One, and his speech is entitled Macaroni at Midnight. He has an incredible story of redemption and healing, and talks about the difference that one person made in his life, and encourages folks to not be daunted by, I can only do whatever. That caring begins with one.
Oh yeah.
So it's tickets are $50. A table of 8 is $375. Tickets can be purchased. Just call us or go online. You can purchase them online. Not at the door because we need to know how
Right,
many
need to know
people
how many, right.
are coming. But we need a good one this year. We're not in the red, but we really need a good, strong. It's been a rough year.
Right.
Just a lot of demands. So we encourage folks to come out and help us if you can.
Right. Now, if somebody out there would like to donate their time,
Sure.
or their talents to you, what would they do?
The best way, if you have access to the internet, is go to our website, which is thecaringplaceonline.org. You can download a volunteer application, send it to us, or attach it to email. We have a volunteer manager. There's an application, obviously an application, but an interview process, and we want to make sure that folks really care and that their heart is in the right place as best as we can.
Yeah.
And then they're on a schedule. We have over 130 volunteers that are on a
Wow.
schedule. We know who's coming when, but there's always need for more. There's so much work to do. So we would love to have others join us.
And you don't, folks, I'm sure I don't need to say this, but I will say it, is that you don't need to go eat breakfast or have a banquet dinner on the 19th in order to donate to the caring
That's
place.
right.
That they are always willing to
That's right.
accept that cash
Yes,
and those
that's right.
checks that you have out there, and to remember them, when you are deciding about your, contributions. It's the beginning of a new year, and deciding which associations or nonprofits that you're going to be a part of. Remember the caring place, because they do a wonderful job. They stay local here. They
Right.
are just for Bradley County, and it's for the people that are in need. And you guys do a great job. And a little bit about the cruise, though, that's coming up. I know it's
Yes.
not until the end of the year,
Yes,
but
that's right.
we've
I
been
think
talking
October.
about that. In
Yes.
October, there's a big cruise
Yes,
going on that
Kathy-
you can
yeah.
benefit the caring place.
Kathleen McAndrews has established that through
A bit wiser.
A Bit Wiser, yes, travel agency. And $70 of every cabin paid comes to the Caring Place. So
Wow.
we're very excited about that.
So,
That's taking place in October. She still has some places available. So
And,
That's
and if you
terrific.
get around us, you'll hear her talking about it.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But
That's right.
what a fun way to contribute
There
to,
you go.
a great place
It's
is
a
to go on a
win-win.
cruise. That's
Yeah,
right, to go on a
exactly.
cruise and to donate time and have a great time with you guys, because it really is a wonderful program that you guys have going over there. Now, where are you located? Where is your physical address?
our address is 130 Wildwood Avenue. If you go east on Inman Street and it turns into Wildwood there, we're the first organization on your right.
Okay.
And our hours of operation are Tuesday through Friday from 9 to 12. And on Tuesday nights, we're open from 6 to 8.
Okay, good.
Excuse me.
And again, this community has got so many civic groups and help organizations. It's just tremendous how everybody rallies around each other.
Yes.
We were just talking about the storm victims and that type of thing. And with the Caring Place, though, what you said earlier is there are criteria that folks that need the help need to meet,
Right.
whether you were displaced or not. So
Right.
it's certain
Right.
criteria. But again, once they meet that, you guys are there to help them in every possible
Right.
way with food, blankets, clothing,
Yes,
everything.
whatever we can. That's
Everything.
right. We don't always have everything they need, but we'll do the best we can.
Yeah.
We are limited, like on the with blankets or sheets or towels or whatever. It's dependent upon what folks donate to
Right.
us, and so.
Now, are there special donating times or hours or days, or is it just any time your doors are open?
We just while we're open, those hours of operation are the best time. We don't have a container outside where folks can drop off. Just keep it
I
clean.
understand, right.
But if those hours don't work for you, just give us a call, 472-4414, and we can schedule a time that will work for you.
Are there any specific needs that you need right now, something that you're low on that we could tell the people about that they might be able to come up with for you?
Well, it sounds crazy, I guess, but we always need food. I mean, that's just, we distribute some 30,000 pounds a month.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's a lot. So pick up a few extra items. At the grocery store, you can either drop them off, or there's several donation barrels across the community that maintain those barrels.
Sure.
And then, I think when you're going through your closet, you're going to get ready for, spring cleaning and those types of things. Just think about the Caring Place and good, ready-to-wear clothes that you've outgrown or you've
You've slimmed down.
I couldn't think of the word, that they've outgrown you, I'm not sure. But that you can't use any longer, we would be glad to have them. Men's clothing are always needed. Not so much about suits, but good old work clothes and shoes and belts and things that it's just really hard to come by. Shirts, even underclothes, of course, use caution there, but make sure it's good.
Right.
Good use things that we could use. We talked about blankets and sheets and towels, things of that nature. We never get enough of, but we want something that you would be proud to get if you were on the other side.
That's right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, I guess this probably goes without saying, but the food items need to be non-perishable food items?
No, actually anything.
Oh,
we have a
terrific.
walk-in freezer and a walk-in cooler.
Oh, wonderful.
So any food items we can
That's
distribute.
tremendous.
Isn't that awesome?
That is awesome.
We just got those last year, those two appliances, so we're very grateful to be able to offer. We have eggs. We have an egg farm, Westwood Farms, that
Oh,
brings us several
terrific.
eggs throughout the month, and so produce,
Just anything.
anything. Yeah.
Now, real quick, let's touch again on the fundraiser for this Saturday.
Okay, West Side Ruatan is hosting a breakfast at Compassion Corner. That's the Mount Olive Church of God location, Harrison Pike and White Oak Road, from 8 to 10, $5 a piece.
And
Right,
it's
and
all
that's
you
just
can
right
eat?
there in that corner when you turn left to go to Mount Olive off of Harrison Pike.
Yeah.
It's the building
Right.
right there in the corner. It used to be a restaurant.
I think it
years
used to
and
be
years
the
ago.
White Oak grocery store
Or something. It was
like
a
that.
store
Yeah.
or something years and years ago. But
Okay.
it's right there on the corner, and that is from 8 until 10. All you
Yes,
can eat,
for
and
fun.
biscuits and gravy. Hello.
Sausage, bacon. Come
They're
on.
Who's it
losing
calling
money.
you? I know.
Come on.
I know, come on. And so, and then on the 19th, you
Yes.
have a banquet
Yes,
going on. It's
that's
$50 a plate.
Yes. Cafe Roma is catering that. Good hometown food.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Grateful for them. and a good speaker and opportunity. We'll have a silent auction. I forgot to say that a while ago.
Oh, terrific.
Christy Ritzout is our resource developer, and she's put this together. They're all different kinds of baskets. It's right close to Easter time. They're not all Eastery, but baskets of all kinds that will be auctioned there at the evening.
Fun.
Yeah,
That
she's
sounds
got
like
like 40 different themes.
Oh, wow.
Just all kinds of things. So we're excited about
Well,
that.
that's terrific. Reba, we appreciate everything you folks do at the
Thank
Caring
you.
Place. Thank
Appreciate
you so
your help.
much and what you do for this community. And again, folks, if you'd like to get involved, the phone number,
472-4414.
472-4414.
And it's thecaringplaceonline.org.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So if you
Thank
want to
you.
go there, you've got all kinds of information that you can volunteer or you can donate, or if you need help, that's the
That's
place
right.
to go and look at, or over on
Absolutely.
Wildwood Avenue.
Absolutely.
So,
Well, thank you so much for being with
You
us.
are welcome. It's a pleasure always.
all right,
Thank you.
thanks, Reba.
All right, folks, we're going to be back with Ron Moore, our Bradley County historian. I can't even say it. After this, I'm so excited. After this commercial break, stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dennis Ford, board certified in anti-aging medicine and pain management. Have you had recent decrease in energy, lack of sex drive, feel moody, grumpy, or sad? If so, you may have low testosterone and be a candidate for bioidentical hormone replacement. Listen to what two of my patients have to say.
Before I came to the Ford Clinic, I had to have a nap every day.
When I got off work, I'd lay around, really didn't want to do much, and felt real lazy.
I've noticed since I had the testosterone implant that I can go a good 8 hours doing the things I enjoy doing.
I had it done, it took about 25, 30 minutes, 5 months, and I'm doing good. My stomach, my muscles, they've completely changed. My fat level has dropped. Get to go out and run, exercise with my son. My muscles are just getting stronger.
If you'd like to change your life, please call me at Ford Center for Pain Management and Anti-Aging Medicine at 423-400-9115.
Very simple process, and it's well worth it.
I'm Byron Winters with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. Contact me for all of your business insurance needs. From general liability to workers' comp, commercial auto, and business umbrellas, Landmark Insurance has you covered.
Hyperbaric Services of East Tennessee is now open in Cleveland. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy is an incredible treatment, clinically tested for a variety of physical and neurologic conditions, including autism, migraine headaches, even sprains and injuries. It is a simple, safe, and painless process that raises a patient's oxygen level, providing an array of health benefits. So whether you're dealing with a weekend sports injury, chronic condition, or looking for anti-aging, you owe it to yourself to explore what Hyperbaric Services can do for you.
Hi, I'm Brittany Jackson. Join me every Wednesday night at 6:30 and midnight where we will highlight local sports, chat with coaches, and discover new tips every week. Only on In the Spotlight with Brittany Jackson.
Welcome back to Tennessee Valley this morning. Joe Kimpalo, now joined by Ron Moore, our resident Bradley County historian. And before, because we got a lot of time, but we wanted to give Ron his just due this week and let you know about all the history we're going to talk to you about. But before we do, I don't know if you had a chance to watch the morning show yesterday morning, Tuesday, but Matt Tolbert was on singing
Canada.
"O Canada," the Canadian national anthem, which Jennifer, obviously knows very well.
She was standing up back here.
She was standing up. And the funniest thing, the weirdest thing, because the only thing I know is "Oh Canada." That's it. That's as far as I got.
That's all I know.
But Tolbert knew the whole thing.
The first verse.
The first verse. But the funny thing, Jennifer and I were at Mayor Tom Rowland's State of the City address, the Kiwanis Club at Mountain View Inn. They host it every year. So Jennifer's there running a camera, and I didn't even think about it. But before the Kiwanis start their meeting, you stand and you sing a patriotic song, and then you have the Pledge of Allegiance. With Jennifer, did not know and didn't know if she should do it. She can't pledge allegiance to the United States. She's a Canadian citizen. And we didn't have a Canadian flag. We didn't sing "Oh Canada." But I was wondering how weird that must have been for her. So we talked about it. I said, "Jennifer, she says, well, I didn't know if I was supposed to or not." She really didn't know it. So it's, we found somebody that doesn't know our Pledge of Allegiance, but on the same token, she have found somebody that doesn't doesn't know the Canadian national anthem.
All she had to do was stand there and go,
She said, I didn't want to insult anybody, but she wasn't really sure what the protocol was for that.
That's right. Hold on to the camera. Right.
She's good at reading calendars when she gets nervous.
Yeah, she can read the entire calendar in a few minutes. But Tolbert did and from what I understand, I didn't get to see all of it, but the part I saw, it wasn't very good. I got to be quite honest with you. I think I could have done a better job if I'd have gotten all the words, but he did the best he can with the voice
Jennifer brought her
that he has.
mittens. She had her Canadian
She
with
gave him
the
some
maple,
Canadian, and he's got his little
on it,
maple
and
leaf.
the little bitty tiny pin, but he was giving her a hard time that if it had been an American
So
pin.
have you
that
started
big-
karaoke on Tuesday mornings is what?
Well, apparently Tolbert has. And he started off with the Canadian national anthem, and I think we're going to go from there. But yeah,
Well,
so
Ryerson, gets a promotion and everything.
we don't
goes
see it.
downhill
Right.
after
It doesn't. Right. Everything after that, things that matter become the Canadian national anthem.
I'm doing a radio show Tuesday morning, so that's why I didn't get to see that.
See.
I go in and help John Cook do his morning show down at Whoop Radio.
Oh, do you?
He does Tuesday, Thursdays.
Well, and
Oh, okay.
speaking of Whoop Radio, before we go any further, let's tell everybody, Saturday morning from 10 till 12, Ron and Debbie Moore, Old Town Cleveland.
Right.
And you are on where you take calls and you talk about various...
We talk about anything people call in about. Sometimes not even what we're talking
not
about.
even the topic.
Yeah.
Well, what's the topic going to be this Saturday on the
We're
show?
talking about old industries here, and particularly Cleveland Sheriff, since it recently burned.
Okay.
We have some people who have been involved around there and going to come in. One of them's Arlis Stonecipher. His father, Oscar Stonecipher, was the manager of the plant that burned for many, many years. And Arlis has been around for a long time. So we're looking forward to that. In a few weeks, we have Jerry Ellis come in, who actually walked the Trail of Tears, physically walked
really?
the Trail of Tears. Has wrote a book about it. Was nominated for a Pulitzer. We got him coming in. We got some people that's going to talk about the vanishing Appalachian, and after they get done with our show, is going to the museum to do another talk down there for people.
Wow.
So,
Look at all the interesting guests that Ron... What are you doing with paper there?
I don't know.
That Ron and Debbie have on their show, and what are you booking for us? Well, Ron, obviously,
yeah.
that's a good
Are you
guess.
saying
but-
Reba Terry was not a good show?
No,
Julie
Reba was a
Gordon
good...
was not a good
you had
show?
on Canada.
We had on Canada. That's what I'm
Joe.
saying. We're singing the Canadian national anthem, for goodness sakes, on our
That
show.
wasn't on our show.
I know, but it was part
It was
of our show. It was a
Tolbert. That wasn't
representative
me.
of us. We need to get some of these guests that Ron and Debbie have on.
just
Get the
have
word,
at it.
Kim. Write some stuff
Have at
down.
it, Joe. Use the phone.
Something big coming up. Ty Snyder from the Dalton Chamber of Commerce came up, and him and Brian Reed from here in Cleveland State
Yes.
talked about the Civil War between Cleveland and Dalton, and how important. And they're going to reenact the Great Locomotive Chase very soon. Very limited seating. You need to contact the Dalton area Chamber
Okay.
of Commerce, and they're actually going to take you in a Greyhound bus, and they're going to go down and show you where some of the actual scenes happen in the actual locomotive chase. So it's very, very interesting. I think it's $49. You get to go to the, you get a breakfast, and you go down to the depot in Dalton, and you get a lunch there.
Oh,
that's
wow.
great.
And
place
so
to
this is a really reasonable. I think they only got 100 seats available, and if it sells out immediately and there's enough demand, they may put a second bus in, but there's 100 seats available at
Wow.
$49. My wife has already said
I'm
she has
sure.
gone. So, and I'm left doing the show by myself that day.
Well, I'm going to tell you, if you want to know about Civil War history, there's no other person, well, no other people to get in touch with than Ron's wife, Debbie Moore, and of course, Brian Reed of Cleveland State, because that guy is a wealth of information about the Civil War.
Well, they get together, and it really gets above my head.
Oh, yeah, I
Quick.
can imagine.
Brian Reed's really great. You know, he
Yeah,
pop
he is.
out the names and what every soldier was in the 9th Infantry from Indiana. I was kidding there, but
Yeah, he's got
but he really knows all that very well. And one last thing about Civil War before we get into this is that the Deb is writing a book called Confederate Voices.
Right.
And anybody has any stories about Confederates, and we're from this area, they can include Polk and McMahon, anywhere, and particularly pictures with them, even letters from the wives that were left here.
Right.
Because the Southern, the losers never get to tell their story.
Right.
It's always the winner story. So she's trying to write that from a Southern what the Southerners had to go through and what they said. And she's about done with it, but she'd be glad to add other people. If you have family that you know were Confederate soldiers in this area and have anything from them, just a picture, any kind of stories the family could tell, she'll include that in her book. So, but that's scheduled probably to go to print pretty soon.
Okay.
She had a meeting with HD Concepts the other day, and the tornado went through their building. So we will probably have to wait a day till they get some. They didn't get damaged real bad, but they had some damage.
Right.
So, but very soon that'll be going out.
Well, now, how would they get in touch? The phone number? How they can get in touch with you if they have any?
They can call 715.
Okay.
2254. It's in my phone. I have to remember how to dial it. 715-2254. Or you can go to Facebook and look for Debbie Moore or Old Town Cleveland. We have Facebook. And on Old Town Cleveland's Facebook, we post historical pictures almost every other day. And people just have a ball with that. You know, the old stores and old restaurants. And I posted a picture of about 10 little girls together. It was made in 1951. That's all I know about it. And I found it in a collection of other things that had made no sense why it was there, why it was together. So I posted it today and says, just who in the heck are these little girls?
And you know some of them will come out of the woodwork like, that's me, that's my friend.
So far, it's a lot of fun. And we have people argue back and forth. No, that was 1956. No, that's 57. That's a 58 Ford. Oh, put cars on there.
I can imagine. You open up the can of worms there. Well, what are we talking about today on our show?
Well, I knew you'd know a lot about this. We want to talk about Cleveland's first hack line.
Okay.
Now,
I don't know if that is.
A hack line.
Well, you've heard of a hack. You know, if you New York, you know what's a hack.
Oh, yeah.
Is it a cab?
Cab driver.
See, I told you on the way here. I said, I think I might know what a hack is.
Well,
but it was a horse-drawn one.
Well, yes, a hack means a wagon or a carriage is basically what that meant. And in early 1850s, you have to remember that Bradley County had only been here about 12 years. Is that right? 12 years. 1938 to 12, it makes 50. They've been here about 12 years. We didn't have roads. You know, we had taken over the Cherokee Nation, and basically they had trails, some wagon trails and some old, what they call wagon train roads and things, but they were very bad. And the copper mine opened, the 50s, and then the railroad come through here about 1850. Well, a lot of people were coming in on the rail to go to Copper Hill. They didn't have a way to get there because they didn't bring a horse with them on there, and you know so they would hire a taxi or a hack line back then, and the hack line would take them to Copper Hill 3 days a week. Now, even into the 1940s, that road going around the river was pretty much just a muddy trail. And now, when you brought copper down from there, when you big wagons of copper to come down and ship out onto that, they had what they called the halfway house. If you go around Copper Hill there, you'll see a sign about halfway between Cleveland and there. It was the halfway house. That's where people stopped at night and had beverages and drinks, and then they'd go on the next day and come on down to Cleveland. This would take you up there on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. There was two guys, I can't find their last names, but I was trying to find that there were DeFries and Anderson ran the very first one.
Okay.
Basically, it was a taxi service. It started May of 1855. So the first 4 or 5 years, these people just
had to hire.
may hire somebody. But this is actually, you know, there was no road markers, there was no GPS, there was no toilets along the way, no roadside curbs. Basically,
that wouldn't have bothered me any.
Yeah. Well, but you could imagine.
You still had to stop a lot.
I would have stopped, but it wouldn't have bothered me any.
There was a river there. So the local line stopped at coming back down at hotels owned by James Inman, a name we've heard.
Yes.
And Robert S. Stewart, which may be related to George R. Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they started making their monies, these people. And apparently this is pretty profitable because some other people got into it.
Sure. Well, now what I'm wondering is how long of a trip was that from here to there?
It's a 45-mile trip.
So you're talking
in a car. Right now, if you drive, people that I work with that come from Copper Hill, it's a good 45 miles, and it is at least an hour drive. If you get behind a logging truck, it's an hour and a half.
So we're talking a couple days there, probably.
Well, it was a day trip up.
A day? You could
Yeah,
do that long?
yeah.
A day?
If you just had one wagon go up there. Now, if you had copper thing, now, it's according to what the road conditions could
Right,
be.
that's
If
true.
it's raining, it would be a mess. Like I say, in 1940, it still was just a mud trail. When they were building the old Coy Dam there, where the flume line comes down, that was still a dirt road then, mud. So it was after that before we actually got a paved road through there. So you
I
can
wonder
imagine.
how many rock slides they had back then.
Oh, they had to have tons of them.
You got to figure. I mean, my goodness, how long did it take to clear that and then get you back and going? I've got this another show. It's another show.
Yeah, of course, right there at Caney Creek, they actually brought things in by boat over to that little 17 houses that were over on the other side of the river. Brought it in by boat. And so these were bad roads. In 1856, those guys got a contract to take the mail on up to Murphy, North Carolina, so they would go on up. So probably they'd go up in the day and then take people back down the next day.
Right.
So one way this way, then coming back this way.
Now, was it a wagon? I mean, because I'm thinking we had to progress. So, and back in the day, the cowboy and Indian day, we had stagecoaches.
Yeah, there were probably some kind of carriage.
Yeah, you got to figure.
There's
it's
not a lot of
develop.
pictures of this.
Okay.
And not a lot of good stories.
Yeah.
I mean, you just have to go in there and dig and try to find this. And I seen Hackline, and I said, well, we just got to talk about that as soon as I figure out what it is.
Nothing like a zip line.
Yeah, I know. And then William Lowe started one in 1856, a competitor, and the cost of the trip was $4.
That's a lot of money.
It was an expensive trip
No
up there,
kidding.
but you couldn't rent a horse or back then, or buy a horse for that kind of money, and you just got here off the train, so you would take that trip up there. So $4 was a lot of money. I haven't converted that to what it's in today, but it's probably as much as getting a tank of gas, at least. Then in 1862, this progresses, and now this is important. 1862, AC Parks and JB Parks got a mail contract from the Confederate States of America and offered biweekly service, and they carried the mail. And they went to Copper Hill. Copper was an important part of the war process.
Right.
And so they got the contract not from the United States, but the Confederate States of America to carry the mail. Because we had set up a separate country, and we had to deliver our own mail now. We didn't have the U.S. mail service now, and we had to realize that we had to do everything that the government used to do for us. We had to start making up ourselves.
Yeah, that's true.
So they hired those. And like I said, they'd go up on Mondays and Thursdays, and they would bring everybody back on Tuesdays and Fridays.
So if you went up there on Mondays, you stayed there.
Yeah.
I mean, you stayed there.
Most
you
people
worked.
went up there for permanent business,
Right.
to work,
And then
or
come
they
back.
had
Housing,
were
that's
salespeople and buying. It was a company store. Most of the houses.
Was there any like? Okay, I'm just thinking of all these things. Was there any like trouble? Like they used to have the stagecoach robbers to rob the stagecoach. Was there anything to rob on these things? Did they ever get stopped?
Well, you could rob an individual. I mean, $4 or $5. Some of these people have been pretty wealthy.
Right, and they had to be
that's
carrying
true.
money because they just gotten off and they were
Right.
going to settle, and
I
Leave
know
it to me to figure how.
I don't have any stories. I know in Copper Hill, they after the miners come out, there were several bars, and they had shootouts quite often in downtown Copper Hill.
Oh yeah.
Matter of fact, on our show we had some people down from Copper Hill, and they talked about the guys who they knew their name, and some of them had watched them shoot. This is, into more modern times, into the
Took a little
30s,
while
the
for them-
40s, and the 50s.
for
They're still
Copper
going
Hill
for
to
a shoot.
catch up.
Well, my friend Dwayne Annie is from Copper Hill. I think he still shoots people.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
He just says, "Let's fight." Them are
That's right.
fighting.
Them are fighting words. Yeah. But that's quite interesting because you got to think about it. We were a lot more developed than it was there, so it had to be like going back in time when they left here, even taking the trip there.
Well, it was a lot of really manual labor.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
were
it
working
was.
in the
And you have
mines.
to
They were
understand
working.
that Mr. Roth, where the Roth house is there,
Right.
right off Emmons Street, was the richest man in Tennessee.
Ooh.
And so he brought in a lot of business, a lot of workers, and the jobs there, they had, not only did they mine, people had to cut down trees to go in to burn the furnaces, to burn the sulfur off of it. And then, of course, the sulfur fell back down on the ground where there was no trees now and ate up the grass. And next thing you had the erosion, and you had that moon looking like surface of Copper Hill. It was just nothing there.
That was before the EPA.
Yeah, long before that. And then, well, this went a long time. Cut the trees, and so they cut all the trees down, and there was nothing to keep the erosion down. And then what little cover was there, the smelting process put the sulfur into there. They got smart and started collecting the sulfur off of that, and actually made more money off the sulfur being burned than they did the copper. So, and then of course, you know, the restoration projects that went up there are just unbelievable. Then the pine beetles came through, so insult to injury, but it still looks a lot better. You know, these services went on for a while. Then the service continued. E.B. Gibson, he ran it from 1870. Then Thomas Hunter took it over, and he ran it from 1875 to 1876, and then pretty much it just stopped. The business went away.
And that was it.
Because they closed the mines for a while.
Yeah.
And when the mines closed, they didn't need those services anymore.
Right.
And when the mines finally opened back up, we had a little bit more modern transportation, and we had been at least a county for 75 years, and roads had started being developed, and it was a little easier to get there. So basically, this was a business that lasted for about 30, 40 years, and people made good livings off of it. If you could get $4 there. Now, I don't know what it costs to feed a horse, but, you know, basically you grew that.
Right, you had that up in the backyard.
Exactly,
Right.
and you figure $4 a pop.
And the water was free on the way up there.
Yeah.
No kidding. So, so then it went away, and of course, what'd they do after that? Is that when ABC Cab Company came into existence, or?
You know, it really doesn't say there. It says basically this was the end of what they called the hack lines, or individual
And
people
that had
doing
to be
it.
sad.
You know,
That had to be a sad time.
but you know, I think that with the mines closing, it just became
How
a
long
different
did they
thing.
close, Ron? Do you know?
You know, I can't remember. It was a short period of time because they had the problems there. They had some problems during the Civil War. Gosh, I've done a whole show on that, but you know, I have slept since
I know,
then.
I understand that.
Totally
And,
understand.
And I could ask you in 5 minutes, and if you told me, I wouldn't.
Right.
So there you go.
Well, the strange thing is too, I guess, is you figure how things, you know, when they're gone is when you miss them. It's kind of like when we moved here, and the ferry goes to Dayton.
Yes.
And when the bridge was built, that was gone, and it was kind of sad. Even though it's a lot faster, even though it's all those things that make it better.
The
but
adventure to Dayton was over.
Yeah, the ferry,
talked
not
to
getting back in time because you missed the ferry and you're stuck over there, whatever, you know.
I talked to someone recently, I can't remember who it is now, but their family had owned the ferry and operated it for 40 years or something of
Really?
that nature. And they were bought out by TVA and by the Tennessee Department of Transportation, and were given a good retirement.
Yes.
Oh, I
yes,
bet, yeah.
I'm
It's still
sure.
sad that left because that was kind of a piece of...
Oh, that was fun to ride across
It
there,
was
you know.
fun to ride it,
Of course,
and, you
sort of
know, we-
scary sometimes.
Yeah.
I went over it in a school bus one time, and I said, "There's no way this thing's going to tip over here," you know. And
Right, or if they overshot the landing a little bit and you had to back up and do it
Well,
again.
I just like the idea of racing to get back in time before it closed for the night, and you had to take that
Well, you had to
2-hour
take the-
trip,
right, you
whatever,
had to
all the
go
way
all the
around.
way
you know, there was
Elbow.
ferries all over this area. You know, Gray's Ferry. God, we have a road here in town.
Brown's Ferry.
Brown's Ferry, yeah. So ferries are there, and horse and buggy and carriage to get there. There was a new industry grew just through that, getting around. And of course, you know, a lot of people couldn't afford to have 3 or 4 horses and a carriage, particularly if they were just moving in here on the train. That would have been one of the things. So the copper mines, although it's in Copper Hill, made a lot of money for Bradley County. And like I say, a lot of transportation, a lot of that copper came down here, was shipped out via the railroad. So we had railroad workers, we had hotels,
Right.
we had eateries, taverns over in what they called Frogtown, I think is the name of it, back over where the old Whirlpool plant is now.
Well, it makes sense. Frogtown, Ducktown, Turtletown.
Yeah, there was a swamp back in there called Frogtown. It was where a lot of the people stuff down from Copper Hill would camp in there, and they was you know, sort of not a hobo jungle, but it would sort of give you that ideal as they camped and they ate, and there was other services available by some of the ladies in town available there in Frogtown.
Oh,
there you
see,
go.
and
They have laundry.
right, yeah,
Laundry.
we can leave it at that.
Yes.
But you know what? And it's such a rich history, and when you think back on it, it's such a simpler time, a simpler day. Of course, folks didn't live as long for various reasons, but
No, and the smell alone, I don't want to have any part of it. you. I want indoor plumbing and I want air conditioning.
Well, if you're riding on a road where horses have been on a regular basis, or horses are going while you're riding.
Right.
And
you're sitting right there.
Next to someone that hasn't had a bath in a month because they only bathe once a month, and I'm just...
Well, that's true, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, my grandfather, well, actually my great-grandfather, I mean, I remember he had a sink out on the porch of their house out there, and they had a farm, and they just washed up in that sink, when they came in.
After working the fields.
After working the fields, and for, and then it was just on the weekends, and maybe not every weekend that they actually really took a bath, and this is when I was very young.
Well, that's that joke comes in, I take a bath every Saturday whether I need it or not.
But, and then everybody used the same bath water, and I was like, I want to be first.
You got to be conservative.
Well, and a friend of mine and I went to visit his grandmother when she was sick back in the sticks of Alabama. They had a farm, and I was from Orlando, Florida at the time, a city boy, of what I thought. And so I asked the kind lady, do you have a restroom? And she said, right out the back. And there was the outhouse, and I'm thinking, well, I could do this. So I went out to it, and there must have been 400 wasp nests all up in the top with wasps buzzing all around. I opened the door and slammed it. I thought, no, I'll go to the side of the house where I'm going to go in there. But they went in there every day, and I said, does that not bother you? You don't bother them, they don't bother you. And I'm thinking, no.
Well, you were very, very afraid of those.
Well, there was many of them in there. We opened the door and heard, they were all in there, and I'm thinking, how can you go in peace, so to speak? So no, quickly was the key, so you can get in and get out.
Not a lot of reading of material.
Yeah, I think I want indoor plumbing too, just only because it's easier. No, for any other reason. But well, what's interesting?
Well, we're spoiled.
We are spoiled. We have been. What's interesting is, like I said, there's a rich history here in this county, in this area of the country that we probably can delve into for years and never get all of it. But it's just so much, and so much that's been forgotten that hasn't been documented that you guys are finding out now as we go, which is great to have you on.
It's unbelievable what you find just reading through some of the articles. There's a couple of great books here in Bradley County. The History of Bradley County, Dr. Lillard, Dr. Snell wrote that, and then Cleveland the Beautiful is a book that Dr. Snell wrote. Just great information in those books. And then we find old collections of people, little manuscripts and things they've put together, and research those. And that's how Deb got started on the Confederate Voices book. She found some old letters from
the wives here, I think, wasn't it?
Which,
the wives that were left
interesting.
here, and the things they had to do. She was telling us one time on one of her visits about a lady that had a baby, and that she had to cross a certain line that they weren't allowed to cross at night, and she did anyway. She was arrested. The baby had to go to jail.
Yeah,
it was big, and then she ended up passing away in jail.
Well, real quick, I know we're running out of time. Remember, Ron and Debbie Moore, Saturday from 10 to 12, Old Town Cleveland on Whoop Radio 99.9. Ron, thank you for being with us.
Oh, enjoyed it.
As you are each and every Wednesday. We appreciate Ron Moore. Of course,
Now
Reba
you know
Terry
what the
today,
heckline is.
and Julie Thornton. That's right. That's going to wrap things up for today on Tennessee Valley This Morning. Thank you for joining us. Have yourself a great day. For Joe and Kim and Ron, we'll see you next Wednesday. Thanks for watching.
I'm Kathy Guy with Landmark Insurance Brokers.